Are you thinking about buying a home but worried about inflation? You're not alone. Inflation just hit your grocery bill. It impacts mortgages, your home value, even your long-term wealth. So today I'm breaking down how inflation really affects home ownership and what you can do to protect your investment. Hey everyone, I'm Matt Serafice, your trusted realtor in Gainesville and North Central Florida. I help buyers, sellers, and investors make smart moves even when inflation tries to complicate things. So let's dive in. Inflation, which is basically the rate at which the general price of goods and services rises over time, and as a result, the purchasing power of money decreases. So when inflation's up, your dollar doesn't go as far, and that affects everything from your utility bills to your monthly mortgage payment, among many other things. So for an example, we have this calculator page which shows the value of $100 in 2020 would now need to have $124 in 2025 to equal the same amount. That works out to a inflation rate of 4.49% annualized. If we roll the clock back to 2005, we see that same $100 as a beginning point. We would now need $165 to equal that 20 years later. That's a little more reasonable, 2.55% average annual inflation. Bankrate recently published a story on their website about the Consumer Price Index, where the data suggests that inflation has once again ticked down slightly. Now, it's important to note that ticking down just means the rate of price increases has slowed down. Doesn't mean that prices have actually gone down. Now, the Federal Reserve has made it clear that their preferred measure of inflation is now something called PCE, or personal consumption expenditures. And we see in the report released most recently that the actual number was a little bit stronger than expected, and then the mixed number with the actual index itself, which was flat, and some upward revisions from the previous months. They like this measure as more realistic to what people are actually doing in the economy, with making substitutions when prices go up, whereas the Consumer Price Index is just a fixed basket of goods and services. So this is where it gets real. Inflation tends to drive up interest rates. When inflation spikes, the Federal Reserve often raises rates to try and cool it down. That translates into higher mortgage rates and smaller home buying budgets. Let's say you qualified for a $400,000 home at a 3% interest rate. If rates jump to 7%, your monthly payment might now only afford you a $300,000 home. And that's a big difference in terms of space, location, and value. Now, if you already own a home, inflation can actually work for you. Why? Because most mortgages are fixed rate, so while prices rise around you, your monthly mortgage stays the same. Over time, you're paying your mortgage back with cheaper dollars. So let's say your payment is $1,500 today. In 10 years, due to inflation, that same $1,500 might feel more like $1,000 real-world buying power. Meanwhile, your home value will likely increase, so that's a win. Keep in mind, inflation also increases maintenance costs, insurance, and property taxes, so while your mortgage stays fixed, everything else, not so much. So one reason real estate is a popular investment during inflationary times is that it tends to outpace inflation over the long term. Home values often rise, or even faster than inflation, especially in high-demand areas. Also, if you own rental property, you can adjust rent with inflation, which helps maintain your profit margins. Historically, home prices in the U.S. have grown at an average annual rate of around 4 to 5%, which outpaces the Fed's 2% inflation target. So what should you do? If you're thinking about buying, don't let inflation paralyze you. Focus on what you can control: your credit score, your debt-to-income ratio, and the right timing for you. Waiting too long may mean higher prices and higher rates. And if you already own, consider this a great time to lock in any home improvements before costs start rising even more, or even explore rental options if you're sitting on equity. Inflation may be here for now, but smart decisions can protect and even grow your wealth through real estate. So if you want to talk more about how inflation is affecting your specific plans, reach out anytime. Be honored to help. And don't forget to like this video and subscribe for more real estate insights, and drop your questions in the comments. I'll answer every single one. If you'd like a copy of this flyer, How Inflation Affects Home Ownership, I'd be happy to send you a copy. Just let me know. I hope to talk to you soon.